Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So, of course, we head into this game against Sheffield United, of course, tomorrow as we take them on down at Bramall Lane. Now, this is an area where, of course, we will be hoping to pick up 3 points. I would expect Newcastle to pick up 3 points in this game. But before we get into, of course, my reasons behind that, we're going to this game against the Sheffield United side, of course, who have found just how cruel football can be in the Premier League, of course, with their previous outing where they lost 2-1 to Spurs after conceding twice beyond the 97th minute of the game. That result left the Blades still winless in the Premier League, of course, after the 5 games played, a carbon copy to the start of their season during the 2021 season, of course, which ultimately saw them end rock bottom of the final standings in the Premier League. Of course, fighting off the dreaded drop is ultimately the only aim that the Sheffield United manager Paul Higginbottom has this campaign, and I'm sure any Sheffield United fans watching will agree with me on that. Of course, Newcastle are going into this. We're going into this against the Sheffield United side, of course, who will be hoping to get 3 points themselves. They'll be trying to make it as hard as possibly can. But we are coming off the back of a fantastic result out in Milan against AC Milan, of course, in our first Champions League game back in the Champions League for the first time in 20 years. Of course, went toe-to-toe with the Italian giants AC Milan. Will come away with a point which quite a few people are saying is very poor. I've got to disagree. I've got to say, that we have been absolutely fantastic getting that point there. AC Milan are no joke. These are a team, that have been doing this for a very long time. Of course, we used to do this until a previous ownership came in and ruined it all for it. But to go to the San Siro and get a 0-0 draw like we did in that first game back in the Champions League in 20 years is absolutely fantastic and cannot be underestimated. And it should not be underestimated neither. Um, looking at it, looking at this, this is a chance for Newcastle to get 3 points on the board. We're unbeaten across our prior 14 Premier League meetings against newly promoted sides, of course, winning 7, drawing 7 last season. Of course, for us to finish inside the top 4, the aim is to, of course, not lose this game. And that is because just last season, we only lost 3 times away from home in the Premier League, winning 8 and drawing 8. So, we definitely need to be looking at this game as a 3-pointer, as a 6-pointer even. When you add in the game at St James's Park, what we've still got to play as well. It's going to be a 4:30 kickoff for this game. It's going to be live on Sky Sports. All the away tickets are obviously sold out as always. Looking at Sheffield United going into the game, Ollie McBurney is missing due to suspension after picking up, of course, 2 yellow cards in the game. So he will be suspended. While Max Lowe, Ben Osborne, John Fleck, Ryan Brewster, Reese Norton Davies, and George Baldock, and of course John Egan are all on the injury list. Judging by, of course, the press conference of Paul Higginbottom, it didn't sound like any of them guys were going to be available by the sounds of it, neither. I didn't really see much of that press conference. I just quickly glazed over it, of course, before doing this video. So if there's any Sheffield United fans that can say otherwise down in the comments below, then go ahead and do so. But Paul Higginbottom's side remain winless in the Premier League, like I just said. Of course, since their return back to the Premier League, beaten at home by Crystal Palace and Man City and then on the road by Nottingham Forest and Spurs. Their sole point to date came in a 2-2 draw with Everton at Bramall Lane as well. The referee for this game is going to be none other than Stuart Atwell. A quick turnaround to the fray for the Warwickshire-based Whistler, who took charge of our recent 3-1 loss at Brighton in the Premier League. And of course, on VAR is Darren England for the game. Now, the most recent result for this one was a 1-0 defeat back in the 2021 season. Of course, Newcastle coming away on the end of a defeat in that one. That was, of course, down at Bramall Lane. At St James's Park, however, we got a 1-0 win against Sheffield United. And down at Bramall Lane, the most recent win came back on the 5th of December 2019. Newcastle won 2-0 in the game against Sheffield United. And the goal scorers for that game were Alan St-Maximin and, of course, John Joe Shelvey. Looking at it, this is going to be a very interesting one, but I do expect Newcastle to come away with the full points in this game, and I am going to go with a score prediction for this game of Newcastle 2-0 against Sheffield United. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As you might have guessed as well, in this video I do have a cold. That is why this has been such a late upload to the channel. I usually do like to get the video up a little bit quicker than this, but unfortunately, due to not being well, I have had to of course delay the upload of the video. But now the video is done. Let us know your thoughts on it. Let's of course get a little bit of support in the likes towards the video as well, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, then please feel free to do so. It does help the channel massively, and I am on the road to 2k subscribers. Of course, there is a membership scheme as well. If anybody wants to join that, it's only £1.99 a month. You get perks of a shout out on the channel once a month, and of course you also get priority reply to your comments down in the comments below. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next one, and how are the lads.